It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go, here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
And it's on.
Run it to your friends, come on.
Come on, come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still trouble in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk.
Jay Dizzle, what's going on?
Questions, because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your wealth. Keep it moving, spirit flowing, because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 to 9, and it's on.
Once again, everything is on. Everybody's doing well, I assume and presume. What's going on around here? All right, let me see what we're doing. First, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions and comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many as possible each night that we're on the air to reach you, because you all are the valued listener. And for some of y'all that don't know what that means there would be no reason for me to be here if you all were not here. So I certainly thank you all for always coming through for a brother. All right. Look, tonight we got a lot of things to talk about. Some of them may be a little intense for some of you. Some of them are going to be comical, potentially. But however we get down, that's how we're going to get down, and everybody will have nothing but love. Let me see who's out here in listening land. Jay Dizzle was the #1 first person on tonight. What y'all think about that? And then they go, my mama, hey, mama. Mama, what you got going on? You been behaving yourself? Got to keep my eye on mama. Let me see who else out there. Kiki Matthews, what's going on? Y'all know where she at in Hawaii. Then they go, James Key, what's going on, James? Glad you in the house tonight. Gwendolyn Lady Elegance Pritchett, and y'all know she's from Rocket City, Alabama. Oh, and then there was Nikki Carter. We already know there's going to be some tumultuous things anytime that Nikki Carter's on the air. Annie Moore, glad to see you. Of course, always hope you're feeling better. Taya Matthews, what's going on, y'all? Taya done became a grandmother for the 100th time today. So let's all wish her new grandson a healthy and happy first day. And let's send our shouts out to Vashti for bringing forth the little young one. So you know how that goes. Let me see who else is out here. Detective Pamela Black, glad to see you. Been following my point guard. So James said he been out there on basketball trails. Nikki Carter, I'm not getting ready to even start with her tonight. Listen, people. Again, we got a lot of stuff going on, so we're gonna get down to business. But I want to talk about some things first. Some sidebar type things. Some of you all sent me some questions about our last week's show. And first of all, for everybody that sent me the thank yous for deep diving or explaining some things that they didn't know, you are always welcome, because that's part of what my responsibility is. It's not just to come up here each week and enjoy myself with you all as I always do, but it's also to make sure that we are learning and enlightening each other, because there's a lot of things that go on around us that impact us that we don't necessarily pay attention to on a regular basis. So all nights won't be fun and playful nights. Sometimes we got to really address issues that are critical to us, our community. And when I say our community, that is not based on racial demographics as much as it is the human demographic. All right. And so I want to put that out there in the atmosphere. I've had some of my Anglo-Saxon brothers and sisters to say to me that some of them felt like the perspective may have been jaded. Let me see who else is out here. People been just hollering at each other. That's Nikki saying something. Legal Beagle, Cassandra Key, glad to see you up here tonight. Certainly probably gonna need your legal expertise as always. But again, the things that I'm saying to you, I want you to take these into consideration, because the reality of what we're dealing with is so many things are going on around us that we not always are clear, and we are just taking information and running with it. And sometimes, whether it's with our vote, sometimes it's with the way we interact with each other. Big Rob, what's going on? The big homie. Sometimes it's with a lot of different things that we make decisions, or we let them to influence us into acting or responding a certain way. And I like to believe that what we do here when we come in contact with these types of issues is that we deep dive enough so that you can come away either more confident in your position, or at least with the knowledge that makes you go and research on your own. There are some things where clearly I am the subject matter expert, but then there are some that I'm not. And that's why I leave it open for you all to participate in this process. I think our legal beagle, she will send me information on a regular basis. Sometimes it's, hey, I just want to let you know that what you said wasn't 100% accurate. Many times it's confirmation and just reinforcing data so that when I am speaking to you all, I can be assured that everything is on par. There are other people that send me information as well, and I thank you all for that. You all do your part. I'm going to do my part, and together we're going to become wiser. All right. All that being said, let's get down to what we're talking about today. And we got so many choices, but I'm going to start in the deep end of the pool. Last week we was talking about what's y'all homeboy they got? Oh, yay. Kanye West, when they was trying to blackball him, put him out of commission, whatever. And lo and behold, this week it's another brother. So let's go ahead and talk about him. Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving is the one being, in some accounts, they are urging for the cancel culture to capture him too. Let me say this. Tonight we gonna get smarter tonight. So, but let me do what I normally do. Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving defends his tweet about a documentary criticized as anti-Semitic. Listen to that word again now. It's another week, another high-profile Negro who is dealing with something where he is being called anti-Semitic. All right. I believe this person right here, I don't know what this is, but it looks like this is somebody. Let me see if I can hide this individual. Now, if y'all see me hide somebody, most of the time it's because that individual is probably some type of hack just jumping in the show just to try to get some airplay for himself, whatever. And that's what I believe this is. We'll find out as we go on. Nikki Carter's already in the game talking about flat earth Kyrie. How you doing, April Brown? She says, hey to all. They made him delete it. All right. James says there's always one. Absolutely. So let's begin with this process right here. Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving said that he is not going to stand down on anything that I believe in after he was condemned by the owner of the NBA team for tweeting a link to a documentary deemed to be anti-Semitic. People, guess who is in the house? Man, y'all big homie, Mimmy Mims, the Mimster himself, Thomas Mims. He said that's because the Jews run New York City. You have to watch what you say there. Okay, that could be the case. Nikki Carter talking about, can y'all see me? We don't want to, but we know where you at. All right, so check this out. The star guard tweeted a link Thursday to a 2018 movie, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, which is based on Ronald Dalton's book of the same name. Rolling Stone magazine described the book and movie as stuffed with anti-Semitic tropes. And for those of you who remember me said, how's everybody doing tonight? Because you tried to block me. First of all, Nikki Carter, you're not blocked. Unfortunately, we seeing you right now, but I can block you if you like. Anyway, so it said in a fraught post-game press conference after the Nets lost to the Indiana Pacers on Sunday, Irving defended his decision to post a link. In terms of backlash, we're in 2022. History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody, and I'm not a divisive person when it comes to religion. I embrace all walks of life. So the claims of anti-Semitism and who are the original chosen people of God, and we go into these religious conversations, and it's a big no-no. I don't live my life that way. Several organizations, listen to these organizations now, have condemned Irving's tweet, including the Anti-Defamation League, or ADL, the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai. I'm disappointed that Kyrie appears to support a film based on a book full of anti-Semitic disinformation. Nets owner Joe Tsai tweeted Friday, I want to sit down and make sure he understands this is hurtful to all of us. As a man of faith, it is wrong to promote hate based on race. Now, I could go on and read this over and over again, right? But it's unnecessary. And here's the reason why. Now, over the last couple of weeks, it was Kanye West. Kanye West said, hey, in the entertainment business, majority of the entertainment organizations, the lawyers, the people in power, the ones who make, James said he got to remember it's not Kyrie BA, it's the NBA. He's under contract. All right. Johnny said, just trying to stay productive. All right. So understand something. Kanye said there are people in positions at the senior most media, legal, and entertainment management agencies who happen to be Jewish, who provide bad contracts to some athletes and entertainers. Many of them happen to be of minority descent. Now, first thing happened, ADL, Anti-Defamation League, they go after Kanye. They say, hey, block everything you got. They picked up the phone, allegedly, and they called all their homeboys and said, look, if you stand for anything, hey, let's cut this dude out of everything he got. Now, the reason why I'm focusing on the Anti-Defamation League and the fact that we now have Kyrie, who simply said, I posted up a link to a movie and a book that's been out at least since 2015 or 2018, and that people ought to take a look at it. Now, and along comes the ADL, Anti-Defamation League. So y'all know Uncle Cindy's saying, I'm like, well, what is the Anti-Defamation League in its totality? Johnny said, hey, man, stay positive. That's all he cares about is positivity. So let me tell you what I did. Look at your screen, people. I went out and looked up the Anti-Defamation League. First of all, who is the ADL? The ADL is the leading anti-hate organization in the world, allegedly. Founded in 1913, its timeless mission is to stop the defamation of the Jewish people and to secure justice and fair treatment to all. Today, ADL continues to fight all forms of anti-Semitic and bias, using innovation and partnerships to drive an impact. A global leader in combating anti-Semitism, countering extremes, and battling bigotry wherever and whenever it happens, ADL works to protect democracy and ensure just and inclusive society for all. Now, that is what their definition is on their page. All right. I went straight to their page. All right, let's see what we got out. Johnny said, has anyone seen the posted movie and documentary? I've seen portions of it. I specifically went and looked at some portions of it. Johnny said, I did. Big Rod said, the Jewish community as a whole don't tolerate and negativity that goes against them. A lot of Jews don't believe in the fact that there are black Jewish people. Like with many cultures, blacks have been washed out of the culture. Some Jewish people don't believe in Jesus. So there you go. All right. And I don't want you, none of y'all coming with no hate mail based on what Big Rod said. Big Rod is giving you a perspective. That's part of what we're going to talk about tonight. But let's go a little deeper. So the Anti-Defamation League, who seems to be jumping out in the forefront, they said they was created in 1913. They said that the specific purpose is to stop the defamation of Jewish people and to secure justice and fair treatment to all. That's in their motto. That's in their mission statement. That's on their website, and it's in their About You. So this is what they say. All right. But now let me tell you what old Uncle Cindy Sin did. Because I like to get to the bottom of some things. All right. First and foremost, what is defamation? If you got a league called the Anti-Defamation League, and it's been around since 1913, and they out here stomping out any defamation of Jewish people, then let's see what defamation's definition is. Defamation, and where's my legal beagle? Cassandra, I know you out there so you can validate what I'm saying. Johnny said he watched the movie, and Johnny said he found that there was nothing anti-Semitic in that movie. I concur and I watched about half of it. But defamation, according to Cornell law, defamation is a statement that injures a third party's reputation. The tort of defamation includes both libel, which is a written statement, and slander, which is a spoken statement. States' common law, statutory law governs defamation actions, and each state varies in their standard for defamation and potential damages. Defamation is a tricky area of law as the line between stating an opinion versus a fact can be vague, and defamation tests the limits of the First Amendment freedom of speech and press. Cassandra, Legal Beagle, did I say that accurately? I want y'all to understand why I'm deep diving this for you all tonight, because you're going to find that, in my opinion, that we begin to have a problem when someone says, I have an organization called the Anti-Defamation League, and we understand through the legal definition of defamation is a statement that injures a third party's reputation. The tort of defamation includes both libel. But here's where it gets tricky. Legal Beagle, here we go. The elements, according to law, the elements that must be proven, in other words, to prove a prima facie defamation case, a plaintiff must show four things. Listen to what they must show. First, a false statement purported to be fact. Meaning you got whatever somebody is saying about you, it must be a lie. It must be a false statement. Am I on the right track, Legal Beagle? The second thing is a publication or communication of that statement to a third party. Number three, fault amounting to at least negligence. And number four, some damages or some harm caused to the reputation of the person or entity who is the subject of the statement. Why is that important? Because the first thing that is to prove according to this, a prima facie case, meaning in order for you to win a case, in order for you to prove to a jury or prove to a judge and win a case, the first thing you must prove is that the statement is false and or a lie. That's where we go back to Kanye. Kanye made the statement that Jewish people are the heads of 90% or greater of the major media, entertainment, and entertainment law agencies in America. That's what Kanye said. Well, let me tell you what else Kanye did. When confronted on camera, may have been last week or this past weekend, he pulled up the screen. You can go to the website where it will tell you, it will list all of the major agencies in entertainment law, and all these. It also lists who the CEO is, meaning the chief executive officer, and who the CFO is, the chief financial officer. It has all of them shaded in red who happen to be Jewish. And if you look at that on that page, you will find more than 90% of the major ones. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I don't care. I don't care who's in charge. But 90% or greater of those who are the heads of, meaning the CEO and CFO, the top two positions of almost all of the media, entertainment law, and management agencies happen to be Jewish. Now, that doesn't mean that they're unfair. It doesn't mean that they are fair. But let's go back to this. It says, in order to prove a prima facie defamation case in court, a false statement purported to be fact. When you want to know why these agencies did not, none of these people, including the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, they never went to try to sue Kanye. Let me see what they're saying out here. Big Rod says, there you go, the First Amendment right. Everyone in the U.S. has the right to say anything they want. When groups feel that statement is offensive, that's when problems start. Absolutely. Let's see what Nikki Carter talking about. Nikki Carter, of course, she gonna say, who cares? You ought to care, but we'll say, Big Rod said, we can't have the attitude of who cares. You're absolutely right, because I'm putting the pieces together for you tonight. You have an organization called the Anti-Defamation League, who in their own statement says their mission is to stop the defamation of the Jewish people and secure justice and fair treatment. All right? You want to secure justice? You are an anti-defamation league. We now know the definition of defamation is a statement that injures a third party. The tort of a defamation includes both libel and slander. And we know that the elements to prove that somebody has committed defamation, the first thing in the box is it's got to be a lie. Meaning you can't say somebody defamed you if what they said was true. So when I asked the question last week, why is it that no one tried to sue Kanye West for the allegations he made about them providing minorities bad contracts? I also posted up a video with Dave Chappelle saying that's the same reason why he walked away, because he was given a contract by Comedy Central that said they owned the rights to his likeness for perpetuity within the universe, meaning everywhere. All right. Hold on. Nikki Carter says, so we're questioning what a group considers to be offensive. I don't care what they consider to be offensive. What I do care about, hold on. That's why Dave Chappelle didn't take that 50 million. Absolutely, Mims. What I'm educating you for, Nikki Carter, is this. We have a powerful organization whom, and listen to what they said. I wanted you to understand this. How do they go about it? They said they're a global leader combating anti-Semitic counter-extremists and battling bigotry. It says ADL works to protect democracy and ensure just inclusive, right? How do they do it? They said using innovation and partnerships to drive the impact. Now, think about what I'm about to tell you. I want y'all to listen to what I'm about to say. Big Rod said it's funny how the smallest group of people in the U.S. have the most money and power. Hey, Big Rod, we about to go there. . Said Ice Cube made a song, no Vaseline. All right. So, Nikki Carter, I don't know if this is changing your perspective, but let me tell you this. The Anti-Defamation League, which has a strong base, you know why they have a strong base? Because they say that their mission is to stop the defamation of Jewish people, right? And how do they do it? By using innovation and partnerships. The partnerships, the very partnerships that Kanye, that Dave Chappelle, that Prince, and anybody else who went back and looked at the types of contracts that they were given. Now, mind you, they're not victims because you signed a bad contract when you're desperate. I'm not saying that you're a victim. But you also can't hide behind, the phrase anti-Semitic, because we've painted that to be a dirty word. And when we go and define it, we know to be anti-Semitic, all you got to do is say something that somebody who happens to be Jewish believes that, it's going to make me look bad. Well, if I tell you that you made a young 20-some-year-old, well, you didn't make him, you provided a young black man that was 20-some years old who happened to have been recommended to a lawyer who happened to be Jewish. And as Dave Chappelle said, they all sat around the table. And when he was asking for legal advice, everybody in the room said to him, Dave, it's a good contract. And he couldn't understand some of the words that was in there. He was trusting his legal team. The same reason why when Prince signed a contract with Warner Brothers, shortly thereafter, he was walking around with the word slave on his face. I'm not saying that the Jewish people who happened to be in charge, who gave contracts that was favorable to the organization, was wrong. They had a right to put it in front of them. They didn't have to sign it. I'm just telling you, you don't get to come back and say, because somebody told that we be putting out contracts that are not favorable to individual artists. That's not a lie. That's why you haven't seen the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, try to take Kanye, Dave Chappelle, or Kyrie now to court. People have said the owner of the Brooklyn, that he ought to get rid of Kyrie. Now, you might should have got rid of Kyrie for some of the things that he's done. I'm not defending Kyrie, but I'm defending Kyrie's right to say, hey, I watched the movie and I think you all ought to watch the movie too, to enlighten yourselves. He didn't say that everything in that movie was correct. Nikki said because they stay connected and pool their resources. Again, Nikki Carter, you're absolutely right. But you don't get to say that a person is anti-Semitic because they tell the truth. And the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, the reason why they say the way that they go about stomping out these things is they use innovation and partnerships. Meaning, if I'm with the ADL and I call up the heads of these organizations, which we know more than 90% of them happen to be Jewish, and we say, hey, look, what he said is bringing a light to us that we really don't want to see. Let me see what Big Rod said. I don't know the percentage, but most of your jewelry in the U.S. are Jewish. Most of your movie producers are Jewish. Your biggest contributors to politicians are Jewish. Absolutely. Nikki Carter says, shaking her head. And again, I want to say this for record. James said, but Kyrie doesn't work for Kyrie. That's the only gripe I have. James, you know what? I don't think it matters that Kyrie doesn't work for Kyrie. If Kyrie is not saying anything negative, and if Kyrie did not tell a lie, if Kyrie is not defaming or injuring someone, all Kyrie said was, I watched the movie and I think my people ought to watch the movie. Legal Beagle said defamation is tricky when you defame someone and they say they have been harmed by your words or action. You have to prove they did, and they have to prove what you said is true and accurate. Hopefully this makes it simple to understand. Absolutely, Legal Beagle. She just simplified what I told you all. Because the mere definition of defamation the first thing it must be is true. You can't say I defamed you if what I said was true. If I tell a lie on you and you can prove it was a lie, then you can say I defamed you. But you should not have an organization called the Anti-Defamation League throwing out the words like anti-Semitic and extremist to somebody. I mean, hold on. Cassandra said, if you can't lose if they prove it's true, case closed. Absolutely, Legal Beagle. See, that's why I go to Legal Beagle. Nikki Carter said the ADL finds the movie offense superior. And you know what? Nikki Carter, the ADL has the right to say that they are offended by some of the movie's content. I agree 100%. Nobody in here, I don't think, is saying that the ADL or any of our Jewish brothers and sisters are losing their rights in order for us to gain rights. We're simply saying every time somebody says something that has truth to it, they should not be labeled as anti-Semitic, and it shouldn't be that you can allegedly pick up the phone and call your partners who you may go to bar mitzvahs with, who might stay in the same neighborhood with you, and say, you know what? I think you should tell him to take his money out the bank. Because as it stands, I believe that Kanye and others should be using our legal system to force certain banks and entities, the ones that said you need to take your money out of our bank. Now, there are black-owned banks that he can put his money in, but to prove a point, he should sue them. Because if he did not say anything wrong, if they can't prove it was inaccurate, then labeling him as an anti-Semitic is defaming him. I'm just saying. So I wanted you all to understand. Hold on for a second. Nikki Carter said that's the same argument other people use when they said their statements are racist. Listen, everything somebody says is not racist. There is a reason why freedom of speech is afforded to all. We're just saying, and I'm saying to you all, again, not in defense of Kyrie, but in defense of the fact that Kyrie has a right to say, I looked at a movie and I think you should look at it too. Again, not defending anybody. James says, so we're salty because they're wealthy and organized and we are not? No, James. And I think that's a negative way to try to infer it. We're not salty because they're organized. I applaud the fact that they're organized. I wish that we in the Negro community were more organized. I just don't like the fact that we and others latch on to statements that are divisive, like anti-Semitic, because many of you don't know what it means, and you allow organizations like the Anti-Defamation League to tell you and you believe that somebody is saying something harmful or hurtful. If it is hurtful for somebody to know that you allegedly are providing contracts that are non-favorable because the next set of Negroes or young people, white, black, or otherwise, who goes to the record company, who goes to an athletic organization, might take a lawyer who might not be Jewish and might read the contract, and you might have to do business a different way. That's not them defaming you, and it doesn't make them anti-Semitic. It makes them educated. Cassandra said, when you have wealth, things look different in these cases. Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we got. Big Rod said anti-Semitic is the catch-all phrase because they feel anything that shows their culture in a negative light is offensive to them. Exactly. What did Big Mim say? Mim said, remember, Hollywood tried to bamboozle Tyler Perry when he was getting started. Absolutely. That's why he left Hollywood and created his own thing. Nikki Carter said, how about getting a lawyer that will advocate, period? I agree with you 100%, Nikki Carter. And that's what I believe the purpose of what Kanye was doing. Kanye said, I'm going to expose these things so that you all don't make the same mistakes that I made. That's what he was essentially saying. Ty said, to me, if you do shady stuff and someone calls you out for being shady, you don't have no business getting mad. And Ty, let me say this as a matter of record. Nikki Carter said we do the same thing sometimes, and we may do that. Let me be clear of something. And Legal Beagle, make sure I'm on the right track with this. I am not saying that the Jewish people whom are alleged to be in power are wrong for creating contracts that are favorable for their business. I'm not saying that at all. And I want you to understand that that's not what I'm saying. I think to some degree, they are doing absolutely what they're supposed to do. If you work for an organization, you're supposed to get the best deal for the organization. All right. What I am saying is, what I believe Kanye was saying was, let me educate you on what happens. What Dave Chappelle was saying was, let me educate you on what happened to me. What Prince was saying was, let me educate you. What Michael Jackson was saying is, let me educate you so that you can go get you a lawyer who might best represent you, and understand that if you go get a lawyer who happens to be Jewish, it doesn't mean that they won't do a good job, but you have to consider whether or not they have some external relationship with the people trying to get you to sign the contract. Let me see what Johnny talking about. Johnny said, but what if the lawyer is part of the partnership? That's what Dave Chappelle said. That's what Kanye was saying. Let's see what the Legal Beagle said. Kanye and others think it's unfair, and that's the issue. Absolutely. James said, know your lawyer. James, I agree with you. Here's the problem. Many of the young people who go into the entertainment industry, and they are finally, after putting in products of work that are their intellectual properties, when they figure out that they're about to get a contract, they've always heard, hey, go get you a lawyer. So who do they ask? They ask the people who are about to, who help them get into the big office, if you will. And the first thing that happens is that person says, hey, I can't be your lawyer because I work for the organization, but I can recommend somebody who can explain this stuff to you, and 10 other people that you've heard of before uses this lawyer. So obviously an 18, 19, 20, 25-year-old who is not legally knowledgeable of certain phrases, he's going to use the same person that he heard Diddy use it, that he might have heard Dr. Dre use, that he might have heard some famous rapper, actor, entertainer used. And they walk into this office, and when they walk into the office and they see pictures of all these entertainers shaking hands with this particular lawyer, they believe that this lawyer has done a great job for all of his clients. So I just want you to understand that, because I said, yep, ask me and I'll tell you. Absolutely. That's why we deal with the Legal Beagle up here. Johnny said, I'm asking. Jane said, that was the purpose of the gas face video. Big Rod said, well, Johnny, that's the problem. Most of them are involved in the system because they're getting the contracts and then representing them. Absolutely. Cassandra said, believe it or not, don't use an entertainment lawyer. You need a contract lawyer. Trust me, you'll appreciate the advice. Take it from the Legal Beagle. She's not putting all this time into law school and to become the best knowledgeable person in her field for no reason. The problem is, and I'll say this to Kanye and many of the others, we have this system of distrust in our own community, which is why sometimes we won't use our own people. And I'm not implying that ain't no shady Negro attorneys. I'm just saying that sometimes we catch people when they're in hardship situations. We offer them some money. And once again, I will say this for the record, so I don't have to say it anymore, is that I am not implying that the CEOs, CFOs, entertainment attorneys, corporate structure is not doing its correct job. Their job is to get the best deal for the organization and or their client. So the contracts, while they're not favorable to the individual artist, you can't say that they're bad contracts because you're supposed to write the contract up, and somebody's supposed to have a lawyer on their side who is supposed to come back and review it and say, this doesn't look good, this doesn't look good, and this doesn't look good. We need to change these. If you don't ask to change them and you sign the contract, then you're trapped in something, in Dave Chappelle's word, for perpetuity throughout the universe. If you read a contract and it says anything about we control your likeness for perpetuity, and they use the word universe, if they ain't saying Universal Studios, just the universe in general, you should say to yourself, the universe is a pretty big place. How are you controlling me outside of Earth? I'm just telling you. Nikki Carter says, so it sounds like we need to create a collective of people such as lawyers, agents, etc., that we can trust. I don't disagree with that. And that's the reason why I did not take the position that in doing the contracts that they're wrong. I'm taking the position that because someone exposes the alleged actions, that doesn't make them anti-Semitic. That makes them given knowledge. Kyrie has every right to say, I saw a movie, you should watch it. Is it anti-Semitic if one of you go watch a Denzel movie and you say, hey, I like the Denzel movie? Now, if I'm Russian, I might have a problem if Denzel got a movie where he beating up Russians and they're painting the Russians in a certain light. But Denzel is not anti-Semitic because he beat up some Russians in the movie. Cassandra said, I do contract law every day, and all you need is simple wording. A lot of contracts have a bunch of big words and lingo. Artists hear dollars and perks. The devil is in the details. Absolutely. Y'all better listen to the Legal Beagle. Big Rod said, our people get the stigma that they will not get the same amount of money as a black lawyer. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles has formed his own team of women to represent him and others. Listen, people, and I don't do this that often. You can probably count on one hand the amount of people and or organizations that I have promoted. Here's what I would tell you. Most of you may need something simple reviewed. It might be a contract to get your car fixed. It might be a contract to do a particular show or venue. It might be something like that. Don't be afraid if you will send a direct message to somebody that you think is fine, asking them, can you sleep with them? You know, and I'm not promoting her because she's not even told me we can do this, but you know we have a legal scholar who happens to be on this show and has been up here for years and has given us sound advice. You need to reach out and ask, hey, how much would you charge me to review this simple contract and trust and begin to get some knowledge. Use the people in your inner circle. And again, she's never asked me to, I don't even know if she does it randomly because she's working all the time. But if you have people that you interact with on a regular basis who are giving you, the show does not pay her for any of her legal views and opinions. And I'm saying this to you all because if you got a small contract and you know what her name is and you know she's on Facebook and you know what her emblem looks like, instead of sending her a DM asking, can you take her out, send her a DM and ask her what's her fee to look at a simple contract for you and give you some insight to it. That's how we begin to build networks. Big Rod said, how people get that stigma? Oh, yeah, I've already covered that. Nikki Carter said, but that's according to your opinion. The ADL disagrees. Nikki Carter, let me say something. First of all, hello, Essie Shepherd. I'm glad to see you, of course. Nikki Carter, let me say something to you. I didn't say that the ADL didn't have a right to disagree. I said that the ADL doesn't have the right to start pushing verbiage like anti-Semitic on people who are disclosing alleged types of business that somebody does. Might it hurt your business? It might hurt your business if somebody says to a generation of people or to a group of people, Before you go do business with any of these 100 organizations, make sure you get you a lawyer that is working for you and who is going to explain the contract, because they will give you contracts that are not in your best interest for an extended period of time. I don't have a problem with the ADL saying, hey, that might hurt some people. It's legal for them to do it, but that doesn't mean that it's right. And so your thing, I'm just, Robin Williams, what's going on? Glad to see you. I tell you what bothers me about you, Nikki. I know that you are a educated individual, probably with a broad life experience. And sometimes your perspectives are so broad that it causes people to wonder, me specifically, are you just making an argument because an argument can be made? Because I've not said that the people writing the contracts was wrong. I said they were within their legal rights and they were doing what was in the best interest of the organization. I've only said that the Anti-Defamation League doesn't have the right to say that individuals who tell the truth about an experience or something are not anti-Semitic. And I've also said and proven to you all that in order for something to defame you, you must prove that what is said about you is a lie. So when you say to me that it's a matter of opinion, it's not a matter of opinion if Kanye told a lie about his experience. It's not a matter of opinion if Dave Chappelle told a lie about their experience. It's not a lie as to whether Prince and other entertainers and athletes who had similar experience. They're not lying if they say this is what happens to me. And it's not a lie. And if it was with the backing, remember the ADL says the way that we stomp these things out is we use partnerships to drive the impact. That's on their page. They told the truth. We pick up the phone, we call our allies and partners, and we say, this is how we could get rid of this individual. And what really makes it possible is because we, within other communities, when we hear it, the government got a whole organization. You don't have the we going to protect people from killing niggas and Negroes. You don't have an organization that's out here fighting for the right of the poor and putting it on the front street. You're not holding people in positions of power accountable for whether or not they're mistreating women on the job, whether or not they have unfair hiring practices. You don't care about the fact that organizations do business with smaller mom and pop businesses and they don't even pay them for them. You don't have a problem with the fact that Donald Trump can say things that is anti-Semitic, and because he has a wide base, y'all not doing nothing to him. But you want to cancel Kanye, Kyrie, Dave Chappelle, and people like that. That's what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with anybody doing good business for themselves, because it's my responsibility to hire somebody like Cassandra who does law, who reviews contracts. It's my responsibility to get the right person to protect me. I'm not calling them crooks for that. But Kanye is not anti-Semitic because he exposes it. Neither is Kyrie for saying, I watched a movie, and the movie I watched, you ought to watch it. He recommended a movie because the ADL and Jewish people don't necessarily, some Jewish people, not all, don't necessarily allegedly care for that movie. They have a right to say, we don't like the movie and we don't believe that everything in the movie is true. Kyrie never went on TV and said, I watched the movie that's 100% true. He never implied that. He just said, hey, I watched this movie. It was some good information in it. And I think that if you want to, you should watch it too. See, Cassandra said, I'll be happy to review any contract. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 not no pro bono. Look here, Cassandra. as a business major, let me tell you this. It's not good business to be on social media where I got followings of across 3 or 4 platforms that are in excess of 5,000 people. Scratch that. She's not doing it pro bono. She might give you a reduced rate. Cassandra, you cannot on my show. Okay, here we go. She said the first look is free. All right, cool. All right. And people, look, I'm not trying to count nobody's pocket, but I know how broad the base is for this show after 7 years. And it would be a failure for Cassandra to open that door to doing it for free and not clarify, because she would find herself overloaded, because we do have a wide base. And I don't want that to be the case. She did say the first look is free. And after that, she'll give you whatever the rate is for that. And people, let me tell you something. And this is not to defend Cassandra on that. It's more so to say we in the Negro community ought to stop thinking people ought to do stuff for free anyway. You're not asking a white lawyer to do it for free. Big Rod said, when I had my accident in South Carolina, I was referred to a black lawyer group that took their time and worked for me to get the great results that I was looking for. Absolutely. Thanks for that, Big Rod. So I want us as a people to stop expecting something from our people for free that we willfully pay people from other demographics to do for us. That's to me, that's the reason why we can't ever come up, is because we looking for the hookup. Nobody owes you a hookup. If I went to school to get my doctorate and I am giving you some professional advice, let me tell you something. My doctorate was not free. Cassandra's legal degree is not free. Anybody who has been, whether it is years of experience, whether it's education or whatever, it's not free. So stop thinking that you deserve to get free service. Now, I'll be honest with you. I have counseled, and spiritually, I will counsel people and won't charge them anything from time to time. It just depends on which capacity that I'm counseling them in. But if you call me and you say, hey, I need family counseling, and you're not talking about, you didn't call me in a spiritual capacity. If you call me as Dr. Nicholson, then it may or may not be. I've been blessed. God has certainly looked out for me. Jesus has been, I told y'all I rock with him, so he done looked out for me. But everything that I do is not free. And why would you expect it? So I just want y'all to treat your own people fairly. All right? Man, look at my son. He talking about some, if it ain't white, it ain't right. You know what, Xavier? I'm not even playing with you. He didn't get that part. He didn't get any of that from me. None of that from me. As a matter of fact, I ain't getting him no airplay with that. Although there's probably 42% of me that probably say, hey, that's a cool little statement. But it's not. All right. Big Ross said, yep, that's our catchphrase, hook me up. Supplies and equipment is not free either. It's my time. Absolutely. And I want y'all to understand that, because I'll give you a prime example. Let's say somebody is a chef and they go to school and they spend $40,000 getting trained to be a professional chef. And you say, man, I got a party and I want this professional chef to cater my event. Should he, if he's black, do it for you for free if you black? No, because he paid $40,000 for that education. And because you wouldn't go and get a professionally trained white chef and ask them to do it for free. So I'm just saying, if we treat everybody fairly and accordingly, then people won't mind doing things for you and giving you good sound advice. What's going on, Mother Rouse? Glad you done joined us. All right, let's go to something else, people, because y'all sucking up all my time. Let me see. All right. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Y'all tripping. All right, so we're going to talk about 4 teens that were injured, right? And here's the crazy part of it. 4 teens killed in Buffalo car crash may be linked to TikTok challenge, which was 4 teenagers in Buffalo died in a car crash that authorities believe may be linked to a disturbing new TikTok challenge. The fatal victim and a surviving teen were riding in a stolen Kia driven by a 16-year-old. Now, let me say this to you, people. Here's what's crazy about that. I told y'all a while back about these TikTok challenges. Okay? And about the fact that y'all sitting around here and y'all will do anything for a like and a click. And the authorities have said that there is a TikTok challenge that has shown people how to break into certain Kia vehicles. And so the challenge has been for people to go out, break into the cars and steal them to prove that they could. And what they believe happened was 4 teens who were riding in a car that they alleged to have been stolen. And they believe that it was because of the TikTok video. And they crashed the car and 4 people lost their lives. Now, I say this to you all because y'all so busy playing with TikTok, y'all can't even live your real lives. Some of y'all live vicariously every day through social media. Okay? Xavier talking about Negroes should help each other. I just did a NyQuil chicken. Yeah, you keep playing. And think about it. Look at, why is it that each week I'm having to come back and tell y'all to stop doing dumb challenges that some probably a 15-year-old thought about, posted up on social media, and y'all ignorant selves is doing it. I'd have seen the challenge where mamas is letting their kids slap them, disrespect them. Big Rod said, yeah, we TikTok, but we don't vote. Absolutely. Yvonne said people need to use common sense. They should, but look at how easy it is. If I were to take a poll, how many of you all have done a TikTok video? Raise your little cyber hands. Most of y'all probably done did a TikTok video. Thinking to yourselves, what in the world are you doing? You get up there, you say stupid stuff, you do stupid stuff. I done seen old women up there tweaking and twerking. I done seen people jumping off buildings. Hold on, Cassandra said she ain't done one. Yvonne, you ain't done no TikTok. Thomas Mims said never did a TikTok. Now, look, I'm not going to believe that I'm the only host of a show in America that none of my people ain't done TikTok. Some of y'all done some TikToks. Some of y'all need to do a TikTok. Anyway, that was just, I don't even know why I said, I'm petty today. Ty talking about not me, I don't have TikTok. Ty, you seem like the type that'll do a TikTok. Anyway, I'm saying this to you all because y'all are losing your kids. People out here losing their lives. And let me say this to all of y'all out there in listening land. If somebody on TikTok or any social media told you to go steal a car, when the police catch you, whatever happens to you when they catch you, you deserve it. I said it, I stand by it. Yeah, I rock with Jesus and I still stand by it. If you went out there and stole a car, while we don't wish death or harm to anybody, but you wrecked the car and you get killed after you stole a car because of what somebody told you to do on social media, I'm not shedding one tear at the loss of your life because it was your ignorance that did it in the first place. All right, people. The final thing that I'm going to show y'all, because I know this is going to go across the time. Let me see if I even put this up on the banner. I didn't. All right, but I'm going to show this to y'all anyway. Because I was certainly... Hold on. Did Essie Shepherd say she ain't did no TikTok? You sure, Essie? I believe you might have did one of them little small TikToks. We're going to have to go back and look on social media because everybody that spoke up tonight said they didn't do one. All right, people, look. I didn't even put this one on the internet, but I cannot help from pointing this out. So I go on social media on a regular basis, right? And I like to find certain types of deals. Many of them I find are on Facebook Messenger. No, Facebook Marketplace. Y'all, have any of y'all ever used Facebook Marketplace and found some type of deal or something? Well, let me tell y'all something super funny. All right. Hold up. I know James ain't say he ain't did no TikTok. He telling a tick lie. I believe he allegedly did one. Anyway, so I'm on Facebook Marketplace today, and I'm looking for a good deal on a piece of equipment. All right. Big Rock said he be up there selling product. All right. So as I'm perusing through all of the available items to see if something catches my eye, I'm going to show y'all a picture of what I came across. Can y'all see this little doll? If you out on social media, you can probably see the little doll. If not, go back and look it up later on. All right. It looks like a little stuffed animal. Can y'all see the picture on Facebook? If so, hit me with the yes so I can put it down. So I can tell y'all what it is. And it's a true story. I saw it today. I saved the link, but I ain't want to get him no airplay. Let me tell y'all what that little stuffed animal is. There are some people on Facebook, and this is what it says. It says that they are selling handmade voodoo dolls with scrolls. Now, Yvonne talking about, is that a Chucky doll? Nope. Again, this is out there right now. It's a handmade voodoo doll with a scroll. It says handmade voodoo doll with a tiny scroll, and the guy that's selling it, I ain't gonna give him no airplay. It says handmade by my wife. DM me for additional details. And I'm gonna tell y'all what made me. Hold on for a second. I'll take one. Xavier, I'm gonna need you to go to timeout. Yeah, James, they selling handmade voodoo dolls, right? Hold up. Nikki Carter says she want a voodoo doll. What you want one for? You already working with the devil anyway, allegedly. If he's black, I'm supporting it. Okay, Xavier, well, let me tell you something. The person that's selling this ain't black. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Even if they was, I wouldn't support it. But understand something. Nikki Carter, who are you going to put the voodoo doll with? Cassandra said, me too, Nikki. I need to help some karma move along. Wow. Y'all need to talk to Jesus if you want something to move along. Maybe if y'all pray hard enough, he'll make it happen. But he's not going to respond to your request that something bad happened to me because I rocks with him. But anyway, let me tell y'all what made this caught my eye. Because when I went out here and I saw it, if you look way down here on this side down here on Facebook, it will tell you who likes something, right? So in my mind, because I'm a critical thinker, I said, let me see who in the Sam Blazing Hills is liking voodoo dolls, right? And when I clicked on it, it said it was somebody. Now I'll say her name. Her name is Brittany Santerling. All right. So, and I'm not putting this out there on my Anglo-Saxon brothers and sisters, but I found it strange that I got some Caucasian, some white folks on Facebook Marketplace selling voodoo dolls and scrolls, and they had one like, and the one like was a young lady named Brittany. Now, let me tell you, Brittany is a young white girl. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's supporting. Until I clicked on Brittany's page and found out Brittany got her a Marine. Now think about it, people. I'm not saying that that's how Brittany got the young brother, but Brittany is liking voodoo dolls being sold by another white person on Facebook Marketplace. She happens to be a young white girl, and she is magically found love in the U.S. Marine Corps here in the Carolinas. All I'm saying is, fellas, you better start going on your girl page and seeing what she's liking, because it is possible, alleged, it could be true, it might not be, that some of y'all got some girls out here calling up this certain person, getting voodoo dolls and scrolls, sticking pins in them, and probably snatching allegedly some hair out your brush. And now all of a sudden you so in love, you going to the chapel and you gonna get married. Now, I don't know if that's the case with Brittany and the young military, and we support all of our brothers and sisters who serve. But I'm just saying, it is somewhat funny that Brittany likes the fact that these people are making voodoo dolls with scrolls, and magically she found the man of her dreams. Now, I'm getting ready to get off the show because some of y'all probably going out there searching on Facebook Marketplace. Let me make it clear to y'all, I rocks with Jesus. So whatever you punching in the doll, I hope you prick your finger. It's not going to work on me because I'm rocking with Jesus. And you should too.
About that time, baby.
Say some prayers, it'll work faster.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it if your friends come on.
Come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight, mailbag.